This is how we do it when you rockin' with me. Yeah, I've been staying in and working, making bread instead.
College is not necessary in today's world. I don't think it is.
I'm going to counter later, but I'll let you explain why you don't think it is.
Yeah, I want to say why. What drives that? And in what aspect?
I would say majority of them. Like, obviously, if it's like something with like a doctor or something, dentist, stuff like that, then yeah, go to school, you know? But like, I don't know, like owning a business, like we're doing that. Coaching, like, I don't know, just stuff like that. Just smaller degrees, like fashion, stuff like that. Like, you can learn a lot of that on your own.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. I mean, today, I mean, you got AI who's fucking doing everything now.
The shit I sent y'all earlier.
You got AI doing everything now, but it's just like not even that, but just there's just so much stuff that you can learn just from the internet alone that is either enough or more than enough than what college is going to teach you. Because college goes by the book a lot. There's a lot of inside stuff that makes it easier and like a lot less time for whatever you're doing that we, the regular people, would teach you rather than like college will. But I mean, I get it. I mean,
y'all. I mean, I'll say whatever, but I don't know if y'all have anything to say.
What do you think, Steve?
I want to hear more.
From him or who?
Just in general?
Yeah.
I mean,
more.
I agree to an extent. You know what I mean? Like you said, if obviously you got to go to college for, or like there's things that you need to go to school for. You know, like you said, like a doctor, lawyer, like shit like that. Like, yeah, go to school for sure. But if you already know that you don't want to do anything like that, like, yeah, like you don't really need to go to college. Yeah. Honestly, like it. But like that's something that you have to know from like not a young age, but like if that's how you're gonna do that, then you have to go about whatever your career wise, like take that serious right off rip. Like once you graduate, because you could probably, I mean, bro, like you could go work at HEB, become a manager just by working your way up, and you don't even need a degree, and you'll be getting paid pretty well. Yeah, like you know what I mean, like decent enough. So nah, I agree with you for real.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm more of a person who likes experience over anything. So like if I let's just say we have the same, I don't know. Okay, well we'll just use accountant. We have the same knowledge. Like I've been doing it 4 years. Somebody just got me in, taught me it, and I've been doing it 4 years, not in college, and I've been doing great. You're in college and you come out of college, we have the same experience. Like we have the same like knowledge. Like I'd rather take the guy who's been like I know who's been doing it and has been on my job or whatever, rather than someone who's just coming to college. But like I'm an experienced guy. I like experience.
Experience? It's definitely experience, you know.
Yes and no. Like yes, it teaches you what it is, but like being able to be hands on and doing it like in the real world, is a different experience than doing it in school.
But the thing is, you're learning the job though, right?
For sure,
when you're working the job.
But
if you're learning the skill of accounting, just for example, you just know like more, like intricacies, because like you can get trained in that accounting to do that job well, but like your knowledge might not be really expansive, you know.
Yeah,
that's all. I mean, just to counter that.
Yeah, but, it also just could like going back to sports. It's like okay, you go to the football field every day. You practice the same thing every day. But once it comes game time, and that same drill you've been doing, you might not do it because it's game time. It's just it's just different
for sure.
I mean, the same thing going into a job. Like you're like you can't fuck up now because like this is hundreds of $1,000s, $1 million on the line. It's like you fuck up, that's your ass. So it's just different. There's more pressure applied.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you, and to an extent, on like college isn't necessary. You know, like for instance, obviously, if you have a technical job, you need to go to school. You just have to learn. Like you can't just learn how to be a doctor online. You know what I mean?
I'm bad.
Like, but
what was that one dude that did that shit? It was in like Florida. You know that meme?
Oh,
of that, like, that young kid. That's
and like.
Funny.
And with schooling, like becoming a doctor, etc., like the schooling is super long and strenuous because a lot of that schooling, when you're trying to get your doctorate or whatever, you're like actually doing hands-on stuff, you're doing clinical, whatever. But yeah, I mean, obviously for like, especially with like a lot of service jobs, primarily like, you know, learning how to be an entrepreneur, like learning business like business school doesn't really teach you a lot. Like definitely you need to like start a business or learn from a mentor who's done that. I feel like it's the best way to learn business and operate a business. I've always thought if you like, no offense to people who have business degrees, but I always thought if you get like just a general business degree, you're limiting yourself. Like you should, specialize in something. Also degrees like marketing and advertising, like marketing is so different now. There's so many nuances as we've learned recently to like grow stuff or market stuff.
It's changing every day.
And it changes all the time. And then with technology, like I didn't take like, I'm not a marketing major, so I don't know like what they're teaching specifically, but I know like it's just different day to day with the internet.
But it's also probably a lot of older professors teaching it, so they're teaching like they're not up with them.
Shit, they might not even like how to do it on them, like digital, apps and
I was gonna say earlier to your point when you made the joke about being the doctor, getting their degree online. The first thing that came to my mind was that commercial with Homeboy when he was like, "So you're sitting on your couch and you're not doing nothing with your life."
Dude, that shit's crazy. If I would have saw that, I would have been heated.
Hey, you know what? Wait a minute, bro.
Maybe I am, bro.
I think the structure of education and what college has to offer in the aspect of organization and time management,
that's what I was gonna get to. It's like top tier.
That to me, I don't think everybody needs college to that point. There's a lot of people who have done what they've done without any form of higher education, but I do think they've implemented the structure, the organization, the accountability, the time management that college puts on you. Because college to me is a real good place for a developmental aspect, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people are more so rubber meets the road. They have to have the experience and maybe get slapped around a couple times before they can pick up and go through the trade of what naturally happens. But I feel like it's applying any aspect of how the structure of college is, educating yourself, doing homework, right? It looks different across everything. So, in a untraditional sense, you have somebody who may be pursuing, entrepreneurship, and instead of, being in a business class like you would be in college and having homework and assignments that are related to that course, this person instead who's studying entrepreneurship and trying to establish himself in a business may be networking and learning from his peers like he would from a professor. So people who are higher up in the game who have experience, right? Those are his professors, and he spends an allotted amount of time with them like you would in a classroom with the professor. And then the homework is going out on your own and, trying new things, doing things. Exactly. And that's more so your grading is based on that. How well was I able to handle this part of what I'm pursuing? So like if you're trying to sell clothes, for example, and that's your homework, and, you're putting out your first wave, and you look at everything you do, you look at, your releases and how much you're investing and everything when it comes to the clothing, and you do decent, you're like, okay, cool, this is what we did and this is how it came out. I get a 75, that's a passing grade. I wanted to do something maybe a little bit better. Same aspect as homework, right? You kind of get in what you get out of it, but I do think those things can translate regardless of if you go to school or not. So at least within that aspect, that's why I do like college, because for some people, they like just to put it in front of your face organization of this is your structure and this is how things are going to go. And it helps people to translate that. Others, I think, that don't go to college, I think the best ones that do succeed and strive are those that implement the same practices of like if you were in school. Yeah. It's a learning process. You know, you got to do things. You got to have experience. You got to repetitively practice things. Muscle memory of sorts. Same thing you were making about the drills earlier. You may not do a goddamn T drill in practice, but you're going to do it. The muscle memory of opening up your hips and going side to side, and that movement naturally does translate to the game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's different applications, I think, right? That's my main point. I think the translation of those elements in whatever you do, if you go to school, if you don't go to school, I think that's what, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to go to college, but if you apply those practices, I think nothing's going to stop you from being successful. Yeah. We see too many people nowadays that just are doing phenomenal for themselves with no sort of higher education.
Yeah. I'll let them go ahead. But yeah, to piggyback off what you're saying, Steve, about like time management and stuff, I think college just teaches you so much things, like the social aspect of college. Like, yeah, you can get a job and work and stuff, and you're social. But I think like the social aspect of college, like especially if you go out of state, like it's forcing you. It's such a challenge just from like growing up, being focused, being on task. Also, like learning how to study and focus. Like a lot of that stuff, like if you're not going to school, like just if you don't have that in you, it's really hard to like develop that, because you're like, oh, I'm not really, like there's no like attainable goal. At least with like an assignment or test, you're like, I got to study, I got to prepare myself so I'm organized to, if I'm trying to achieve something, I'm getting to that point, And then also You know, just like the structure, because there's a lot of people who don't go to school and stuff, but they just like they don't do anything. You get out of school and then it's like they've been doing, you know what I mean? They've been doing the same stuff. Because college,
that's
like
crazy.
It puts you it puts you on a clock, like you're accelerated. You're like, I'm there for 4 years. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna finish, and then I get this job XYZ. There's a lot of people. It's like, oh, like you graduate and it's like, okay, like what have you done? You know, like you're kind of still like doing the same thing. Like every year is, you know, the same. You know,
Yeah.
And it's like, because there's no kind of clock they're on. You know,
Yeah.
Besides just like paying their bills, living day to day, whatever the case may be. So I feel like that's like a huge thing. And then also, even though college isn't like really needed now, there's still a reason why like people like when you do go, the chances of succeeding are just substantially higher. Because I just feel like you get not even the fact that you just have a higher education. I just think it's like the what you have to go through when you like accomplish something like that. You know, because like a lot of people, you might have ideas to start a business and stuff, but like executing that is just, I don't know, like there's some kind of accountability, you know, like there's something, because you're not like really working towards something. You don't have the skills set up. Not everyone's like that, but that's why the chances are like, or like the levels are like different, I guess, with that. But I mean, it just kind of depends on what you want to do. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that like really what it comes down to, but I definitely think like the networking, like all that stuff, like there's just, I do think if you can afford college, like I would tell everyone to go personally, just for the experience. Like there's nothing like going to college. Like there's nothing like the parties, the networking, being young, like, you know, all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then like, and also too, like you don't got to work. Like I feel like that's a big thing. Like I'd rather be in school than working, you know? So like that's also,
I feel like a lot of people in college work.
a lot do, but like,
Just depends.
but I still feel like
College is expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say probably 1% of the people who are at that school, 1% of their parents can afford the college. I would probably say.
I mean,
'Cause the
some
shit-
might
most
get
people
like
just get loans,
scholarships.
though.
Yeah, loans.
but you have to pay loans back.
yeah,
Yeah.
but not right away.
Eventually.
No, but
Yeah.
but typically you have to pay loans back. But then you go in an apartment, and it's like your parents can't. Some parents can't just afford the apartment and their groceries on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of people
you're right,
have
yeah.
to work in college.
That's true, but even then, I feel like it's still like different. You know, like when you're
Yeah.
working, when you're working, and you're like, I'm in college. Like
It just-
your mindset isn't like, oh, I got to get up every day and work. You
Nah,
know?
yeah.
you have something to
you
look
have
forward
a
to.
yeah,
at
you have
least.
a
I don't know.
purpose. You're
I'm
there
about
to
to-
get your degree.
Because it depends too. Because like for for Cam and for myself, we were both student athletes, right? So like the time you would spend working, you're spending doing
Playing.
your sport.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
students who just go to class, like let's say all they do is go to their class and that's it, and they have their schedule planned out.
Bro, I
They
can do
literally
that.
just go to class and then they have the free time that athletes wouldn't have to work. And there's some athletes even at smaller schools that will still have a job, do their sports and go to class and do all that together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it just depends, right?
Yeah.
Because again, a lot of the time you naturally give to a sport, and obviously Division I athletes, you're not going to see them ever touching any sort of any. No, I don't know. They could be, but
I mean,
Probably not.
Probably not.
Point
Depending
being,
where they're at.
Point being is that you're not gonna have a job being in that position just because a lot of that time is just dedicated purely to the sport of what you're doing, or depending on where you're at and what your gig is, but. I think in that sense, there is a good population of college kids that do work. Absolutely, I agree with you on that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, no, for
Probably
sure.
at least 50%.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be
sure.
surprised.
Yeah.
If, you know what I'm saying? Like it just,
Yeah.
a lot of college kids, though, what are they doing typically? They're doing retail or they're
Restaurant,
yeah,
service-
restaurant,
service
Yeah,
industry
typically like
jobs.
Yeah.
service,
And retail.
industry job. Yeah.
yeah. I may go home and do a summer job. You know what I'm saying?
Or work
Lifeguard.
study.
Yeah,
Like working at the
literally,
school.
bro. Like,
True.
I'm telling you, that's what I did. Work study was easy,
That's what
bro.
Conley does, too.
Because I was a tutor. So literally in the spring, bro, I would like.
Who are you tutoring?
Look. Look. No, we had a learning center, and so I used to basically they had students if they were in some form of academic, academic probationary period, stuff like that. They would come and see us.
Nah, slick. I know what you were really. Yeah.
Bro, I was one of the
Hey.
best.
You were shooting.
student
You were
mentors
shooting in there. Huh?
I bet you were.
Yeah,
Bro,
I bet you were
all
one
of
of
my
the best student
all of my kids, like all my
Oh
kids,
wow, yeah, all the kids you made.
Kids.
all of my peers, all of my 2Ds or whatever you call somebody who's all of the people that I was with that I mentored, they were either my teammates or they were like people I knew and had like pre-existing. And I probably had one girl my entire time I was there, and nothing. Nothing,
One for a
bro.
reason.
Very plutonic. So
Interesting.
that's what I'm saying. You know,
Yeah.
but Pete, man, it was, like I said, it was easy. The point of it is that it was
Yeah,
easy and it
for
intertwined
sure.
with my schedule so smooth because it was an hourly thing.
Yeah.
So like if I, we got off at 6. Sometimes sessions ran up to 8 or 9 at the learning center. So, I
Yeah.
could go from spring ball to dinner to knocking out homework. And then I have 2 tutoring sessions for 2 hours and I get paid for it. So, it's easy. That made sense, right? But I'm not going to go work no roadhouse shift for 7 hours, bro. If I don't have to, I would rather not. I get there, there's people who do, but
I'm more power to you, man, for real.
You know what I mean?
That shit's tough. Full-time student, or like in working shit. Some
of them are full-time
yeah.
both.
So
That shit's crazy,
that's
bro.
tough, for real.
That's
no social life.
I mean, some people who get their masters are like that.
Yeah. I mean, now, I went to school out of college and it wasn't the same. But even taking three classes, while working a full-time job, I'm like, damn, bro. And I'm sitting at a desk. I'm not even doing service industry stuff. So I already know how mentally grueling that is.
My I guess the first time I say it on camera, my girlfriend, she's going. Y'all are fools.
I don't know. That was so funny to me.
Y'all hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, wow. You're done. You're right.
Anyways, my girlfriend, she is going for her master's. She's gonna do it online. She's gonna do it online, but I mean, she still has a full-time job, and she's gonna be still trying to go for her master's.
And she's in the educational field, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's what a lot of everybody I know that's done they always get their masters all.
I feel like you kind of have to, right? Yeah.
Same thing.
Well, because she was debating on whether to go to higher education for her master's, but I think she's switching it to some kind of marketing.
Okay, fire.
She gonna help with the business or what?
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
Boy, got a head coach mentality. Hey, facts.
Lows, be
I think she's applying to the University of LSU.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. She's trying to get away
LSU.
from that A&M. She's trying to get some real SEC.
She never went there.
Oh, just
Her
fan.
her sisters go there.
Okay.
You said
LSU.
the University of.
Oh well, yeah, but she went to. She went.
know what you
She's
meant.
yeah.
No, I was thinking that too. I just didn't say nothing. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I
no.
knew what you meant.
She went to Texas State.
Okay.
Eat 'em up.
Eat 'em up, cats.
Eat 'em up,
Oh, yeah,
cats.
so-
What, I was gonna throw that. I don't even know what is your hand sign, bro.
What is it? There's
that's
it's like
and then
it's like that, yeah. See, that's my second school though, so
Yeah, that's just.
I was there so much, it might have been my second college. You know what I'm
Why?
saying? I was out having fun with.
You were in Colorado in school. How'd you come to Texas
I'm
State?
talking about after I was on the square,
I'm doing what?
just having fun, bro. Just drinking and having fun with CJ.
Vibing.
Catching
Yeah.
vibes.
You know what I'm saying?
All that. Hey, don't expose me now.
I ain't say nothing.
I said when I was. That boy said when I was 21, I was dropping.
Yeah.
Boy said when I was 21, I was dropping 30.
That might be on the
back in my day.
That'll be on the Patreon. Full episodes coming soon.
Coming soon, real soon.
Yeah,
If you guys enjoyed that clip, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to Opinionated Media. You can find us at Opinionated Media on all social medias. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If you guys like clips like these, make sure you guys stay tuned for more.